Hello there, good evening. It is the eve of Christmas and this is Starr today here on Star 103.5 FM. I am Tutua Danso and listen to the stories leading the pack this evening. And coming up this evening, Electoral Commission stokes more controversy as it justifies its decision to recollate and redeclare results for some 9 outstanding constituencies.
It is important to know that this is not the first time this has happened. It has happened before. And when the CIs are specific that you cannot recollate after declarations.
But inner city chiefs and queen mothers will have none of this and wants the commission to hold fresh elections in the disputed 9 constituencies.
In this situation, the position of inner city tribal chiefs is that those constituencies should go for a rerun, at least to bring peace in the country. When you go for the second time, if you lose your power,
Later, worrying developments. That's how a former Director General of the Ghana Education Service has described the delay in the release of funds to clear areas owed WAEC.
The current situation in education is very worrying, and for me, there are too many things that are accounting for this kind of lackadaisical attitude to the kind of things education should be having. This whole situation of the delay in the results and the possible postponement of the results.
We have a response from the Education Minister who is racing against time to ensure the timely release of the WASI results by December 29.
On or about 29th of this month, the results will come out. So I'm very satisfied.
We know they were having some little challenges with funds initially.
28th, 29th results will be out. We're on the same page with them.
Okay. Tonight on the bulletin, we'll also hear from the West African Examination Council, who have vehemently denied claims of receiving an additional 25 million Ghana cedis from the Education Ministry. And later in the bulletin, we ask, how is your dirty December going? On a budget? Or you can explain. We have the details of these and many other stories making up this broadcast Tuesday.
Star News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, My Star Radio in the USA, also live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Star 103.5 FM, Star News. Informed, in depth, in touch.
Thank you very much for your company this evening. This bulletin is also streaming live on Facebook on Star 103.5 FM. Now, the Electoral Commission appears to be stoking more controversy following its decision to recollate and redeclare results for some 9 outstanding constituencies, following an Accra High Court ruling on December 20, directing the EC to finalize the election results for the Tema Central, Insama Madre Dream, Ablekuma North, Ahafano North, Techiman South, and Okaikwe Central constituencies. The Commission undertook the exercise and declared 7 out of the 9 outstanding seats in favor of the New Patriotic Party's parliamentary candidate. That decision led to huge public backlash, with some accusing the EC of going beyond its mandate and powers. But at a press engagement earlier today, Deputy Chair of the EC in charge of corporate services, Dr. Eric Bosman, cited historical antecedent of recollation under a former EC chairman, Dr. Afarijan. Take a listen to him.
The Commission will explain the state of the outstanding constituencies in the parliamentary elections, provide historical examples of recollation after collation and declaration of results, as well as the Commission's decision to do the recollation in Accra. It has been stated by some people that the recollation the Commission is doing is illegal. This is because the CI says after declaration you cannot recollate. We wish to state that this is false. It is important to note that the Commission cannot uphold an illegality. What happened at the collation centers where the collations were done without all the police station results and where people were held to the gun and knives cannot be legal, and the Commission will not uphold this. It is important to know that this is not the first time this has happened. It has happened before. And when the CIs are specific that you cannot recollect after declarations, we want to state that those declarations should follow due processes. Declarations that we do not recollect are those that follow due process. The current ones are illegality and they cannot be upheld by the Commission. The following are examples of recollation that took place after disruptions of the collations or declarations at the Electoral Commission under the leadership of our former chairman, Dr. Kwedo Afarijan, in 2004. In Zambia 2008, during the collation of the parliamentary election results, a mob attacked the collation center, destroyed all materials in sight, especially the statement of poll and declaration sheets, that's the pink sheets. In the attack, the video was beaten up into. The video was beaten up and hospitalized at the government hospital. On the 24th of December 2004, the Dr. Kwedo Afarijan-led Electoral Commission invited the parliamentary candidates of the NPP and the NDC to tender in copies of their statement of poll and declaration of result sheets, that's the pink sheet, for the collation process to be completed at the regional office in Tamale. The declaration subsequently took place in Tamale, the regional capital.
You just heard from Dr. Bosman Asare, the Deputy Chair of the Electoral Commission in charge of corporate services. Now, meanwhile, a group known as Inner City Chiefs and Queen Mothers have called on the Commission to hold fresh elections in the 9 disputed constituencies. President of the Inner City Tribal Chiefs and Queen Mother Alhaji Dr. Chief Mohammed Ibrahim Sungtaba addressed the media a while ago.
The election was conducted on 7 December 2024 with His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Baumia conceding an early defeat, to which the Council of Inner City Tribal Chiefs and Queens commends him highly for this show of statesmanship. It has been 17 days after this election, and the EC is yet to present the outcome of this election. The MPP presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, has conceded defeat and has moved on with his life, hoping that probably another opportunity will come his way. The Electoral Commission is engaged in a recollation of some 9 constituencies, which is creating tension in the country with legal luminaries in Ghana at a deadlock as to which law to be applied. In this situation, the position of Inner City Tribal Chiefs in Queens is that those constituencies should go for a rerun, and it's to bring peace in the country. When you go for the second time, if you lose, wow, that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, under this form republic, 8 elections have been conducted so far, with Dr. Afarijan having conducted 4, Charlotte Osei 2, and Jean Aduke Mensah 2. In the conduct of both Afarijan and Charlotte Osei, no deaths were recorded. With that of Jean Aduke Mensah, however, 8 lives were lost in election 2020. While 6 lives were lost in election 2024, with several others injured, as reported by CDD Ghana, with support from Kodu and WANET. Clearly, the Jean Aduke Mensah led EC has failed to meet the Ghanaian expectation. And given that Inner City Tribal Chiefs and Queen Mothers stands for the betterment of the nation, we cannot look on concerned while precious lives are maimed and lost. The current Jean Aduke Mensah is leading this country into a turmoil.
You just heard from Dr. Chief Mohammed Ibrahim Sungtaba of the Inner City Chiefs and Queen Mothers. But let's go over the phone lines now and have some more perspective on the development of the recollation, because we've been joined by Dr. Kwesi Amache-Boateng, who is a senior lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Doc, thank you very much for your time. Now, the EC seems to be justifying its decision to recollate and redeclare results in some 9 outstanding constituencies by citing historical historical antecedents. How do you react to this, first of all?
Well, I think that the whole issue is a little controversial because, people, in fact, seasoned lawyers from both camps, come up with their own argument to either support the EC's action or to challenge the EC's action. When it happens like that, eventually, it's obvious that the outcome will not be accepted by, the NDC. And the electoral processes, interestingly, end up in the courts, where any dispute over any of the issues are settled. So I'm looking forward to a situation where all these will eventually end up in the court for a final and authoritative determination.
Now, Doc, talking about the courts, it was the courts that gave the ruling on December 20 that the EC has to recollate some results in some of these 9 outstanding constituencies. But as you said, we have lawyers from both parties giving their own interpretation. Is it a case that the law concerning this issue is not really clear?
That has got to do, with the controversy, that surrounds the whole issue. And lawyers behave like that almost all the time. They go to court, some win, others lose. Others eventually challenge some of the judgments. Higher courts, we know, have ruled against some judgment from the lower courts. So I don't think it is the issue of the law surrounding this coalition thing not being clear or whatever, but it's part of politics. It's competition for power. And here, the two parties are struggling to get the numbers that they think they should get in the 9th parliament. So you expect political parties not to give up until a court finally, takes that authoritative decision, and then the system will have to move on.
From where you sit, is it right for the EC to justify this decision of it by citing historical antecedents? The fact that it has been done in previous times, does that make it right?
I think each case should be treated on its own merit, given the nature of the case, the specifics. Otherwise, you can also cite historical cases to insist on the EC leaving it to the courts to take a final decision. And then here we are, the EC insists on doing what it is doing now. Eventually, like I said, the courts will decide. People from the NDC come cite the case of 2020's incident in the Chiman South. Then the same EC directing that, they should go to the courts. NDC lawyers argue that even with that, they had issues with aspects of the coalition, and that those issues to them are similar to some of the issues in some constituencies. So it's a controversial thing. Is the EC partial? Is it impartial? Is the EC politically objective? You want to go into this, and if one can get evidence to rule in whichever way, then you do that. But I think that is the main challenge that the EC has: trust. That is the main challenge. That is why none of their officers is trusted, and it becomes a problem.
You mean that there is low trust in the commission? Is that what you mean?
That has been established even by Afrobarometer's survey. But besides that, every now and then, almost every action of the EC does not necessarily come down smoothly with all the actors surrounding, Ghana's election.
Mm-hmm.
The EC has deficits in trust.
Also, an association is also asking the EC to conduct fresh elections. Can that ever happen?
That is a possibility.
Right.
That is a possibility. I believe that eventually, the courts might do that. The courts might insist on something of that nature, because the whole thing is becoming shrouded in, some issues that are becoming unnecessarily difficult to comprehend. I wouldn't be surprised if the court rules that some of the, constituencies go through a rerun.
Okay, but going forward, even before the courts comes in again to bring finality to the matter, what do you think the political parties should do in the interim? We understand that later today there's going to be an IPAC meeting. Do you think that is a forum for the issue to be resolved once and for all?
I think some of the political parties called for such a meeting long ago for them to resolve all outstanding issues. Interestingly, the EC decided not to call the meeting and went ahead to do the coalition. And now, if they are going back to that same place, I don't know how things will turn out, because if things were so crystal clear, then there shouldn't be disputes. These results were definitely counted at the various polling stations.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened to the count? What happened to the figures that came out? What happened? Where are the pin sheets? Everybody is saying what they are saying. And interestingly, the EC itself also, suggests that their pin sheets, some of them, must have been compromised. Or that, the crowd destroyed some of their pin sheets. All sorts of things, which are generating, the fury that we all are in now. Is it possible that this can be resolved at the IPAC? I'm not sure.
But finally, before you go, I want us to backtrack a bit, where I asked you about a group's suggestion that fresh elections should be conducted into some of these disputed results. Would you really push for that? Is conducting fresh elections the way to go?
I think that will, bring a real finality to the whole thing, because you see, we can't go into elections and then the voice of the people is not clearly, allowed to produce the outcome. We can't do that. So the way forward, the way to go to clear everything is to go for, fresh elections. I support that.
Absolutely, Doc. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure speaking to you. I've been engaged in Dr. Nana Kwesi Boateng. He is a senior lecturer with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. You are still listening to Starr Today. We have more stories for you after this break.
Get ready for the ultimate celebration of African culture, the African Festival. 3 spectacular nights await you at the Accra International Conference Center. 2 electrifying plays by Lateef Abubakar on the 28th. Don Quixote, Africa, the 29th of December. Ghana Must Go. And 30th December, the Afro Night concert featuring the legendary Yvonne Chaka Chaka. Experience more magic as you step into the den of history. Embrace adventure with Common Rise in the desert. Marvel at the iconic pyramid of Giza. Nelson Mandela Capture Site. Explore the food festival, a world of fun for the kids and more. Dial *714 *70# or visit theafricanfestival.com to join Africa's biggest culture night at 250 cities per day or 600 cities for 3 days. Hotline 0571 900 900. The African Festival is supported by EIB Network, powered by Globe Productions. The African Festival. Africa awaits you.
Starr Today. First, fast, and credible.
You're welcome back from the break. This is still Starr Today with me, Tutua Danso. Let's talk about education now. And a former Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Charles Yao Ahetochega, is blaming the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei-Duchum, for the delay in releasing funds to settle arrears owed the West African Examination Council. This comes as the ministry races against time to get the 2024 WASSCE results released on or before the December 2024 schedule, following the release of additional 25 million cedis to the council to facilitate its operations and expedite the marking process. The payment to WAEC follows the examination body's warning that the government's outstanding debt of 118 million Ghana cedis could delay the release of the 2024 WASI results. But addressing journalists during a working visit to the WAEC office earlier today, Dr. Yawose Duchum disclosed that about 50% of the results have been worked on. Take a listen to him.
Impromptu visitor across the country by various agencies, so this is not unusual. However, I came to apprise myself of developments in terms of the fact that they are working now through the holidays to get the results out on or before 29th of this month. So I came and I saw the workers scanning is being done, close to 50% exam. They assure me by the end of the day that 50% of scanning will be completed. On or about 29th of this month, the results will come out. So I'm very satisfied.
We know they were having some little challenges with funds initially. Do you think that the delay of the fund may affect the speed at which
28th, 29th results will be out. We're on the same page with that. Okay.
But the ranking member on the Education Committee and MP for the Akachi North constituency, Peter Nochu-Kotoi, says that the incoming government will investigate delays in settling arrears owed WAEC and other stakeholders.
And I can tell you for sure that that is what is going to happen. When we come into office, what is necessary to be done immediately to make sure that students going back to school on time is not affected, we will do so. I can assure you that we will not disappoint Ghanaians. So we're going to carry out an investigation into all these delays. What have they done with the various amounts of money given the Ministry of Education by the Ministry of Finance? We'll go into all these things, and we need to do what the President has said, the incoming President has said, that there will be a stakeholder engagement 6 months into his government so that we chart a way forward for education in general in this country, not only the free senior high school, but all other aspects of education. But I can assure you that the pressing issues of WAEC and that of the secondary or senior high schools will be handled as soon as power is handed over to us.
Peter Nochu-Kotoi is a member of parliament for the Akachi North constituency and also a ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament. Let's have a conversation on the back of this development. We've been joined by a former Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Dr. Charles Yaho Ahetochega, who believes that the Education Minister should be blamed for the delay in releasing funds to WAEC, as he describes the trend as worrying. Doc, thank you very much for your time. I mean, you have described this trend as worrying. Why so?
Oh, fine. But my name is not Dr. Chega. My name is Mr. Chega.
Mr. Chega, thank you very much.
Good. Now, so I describe it as worrying because this is, to borrow their political word, this is very unprecedented in the history of Ghana, where we have to sit and delay the examination results of candidates because government has not paid money for the processes that would ensure that the examination results are released at the appropriate time. Seriously unprecedented, and I think that and it's also a real case of bad planning on the part of government or Ministry of Education, for that matter.
Doc, I mean, the minister is giving an assurance that between 28th and 29th of December, the results may be released. Is that assuring enough?
You see, I don't know why sometimes we Ghanaians want to allow ourselves to be misled by assurances. This is somebody who is authority for all these number of days and years, and you sit down and let the country get to each organization or to each institution by a whooping 118 million, I think it's Ghana cedis. I mean, it's unheard of. I mean, so the assurances don't serve any purpose at this particular point in time. You should just go ahead after paying the 25, just finish paying it so that the people will be able to work on. I cannot guarantee that the results will come on the 29th. I don't know whether it will be able to come. You know, so I mean, there's more to that than just coming around and going to WAEC and then walking about and giving assurances about periods when things will be done. It's not a very good way of doing things.
Absolutely. Now, Doc, this development sort of suggests that the academic calendar may change. What does this mean for SHS leavers or those who finish high school this year who want to go to the universities? What does this mean for them?
Well, I don't know what happens at the university level. You know, the universities have their own program of activities. I do not know that this particular lateness would change the academic year. The universities have their way of managing some of these situations, and they would manage it properly and ensure, because it is not even in their interest to try and tinker with their academic calendar. It really disturbs the universities, So I do not think that the universities will want to bother themselves about this. They will find a way of just dealing with it and ensuring that at their end things go the way they should go.
But in the interim, what solution would you propose?
Well, there's only one solution: pay the money to WIC, and then let people who are working on the thing get their fair share of compensation and be able to do the job well. That for me is the only solution. So any other thing doesn't come to mind, because I don't know if the government says we don't have money. I don't know whether that could be a solution. It wouldn't. So there must be a very good reason why, as our people say, if a blind man says he will stone you, he is standing on a piece of stone. So maybe the minister knows something that some of us outside the system don't know. That's why he believes that on the 29th, the examination results will come out. So we'll wait and see. But there's only one solution to this problem: pay the money to WIC and let WIC do their work. That's it.
Okay. Now, Doc, I mean, it appears there is a lot more to deal with in the SHS level than just this WIC situation, because just yesterday, CHAS came out to release a statement that school may not reopen on January 3 because government owes them some amount of money. What's your take on that?
Yeah, but my take on that is also another very saddening situation, because I just can't understand this whole situation. I mean, you know that the children will go to school on the 3rd of January. I mean, you know that long before they even came out of their schools. In certain cases, you even shorten the duration that the students in schools should even go through for their academic year. And still, you want to say that you can't find money to ensure that they go back to school. I don't get it. I don't know where the issue is. So, I mean, it is very, very dangerous to send the children to school when there's no food. And that is what the headmasters are saying. Once you don't have anything to give the children, like an army that marches on its stomach, you are going to prepare yourself for confusion, disorder in the school system. And that is not a situation that any headmaster would want to tolerate in the school that he or she manages.
But Doc, some other stakeholders in this education system are blaming CHAS over what they term is the long silence, because they had so many issues and they failed to come out to say it. They waited until now. Why do you think they may have kept quiet for so long?
Well, I think CHAS kept quiet because they wanted to mind their own business and ensure that they did the work they had to do. Because then, the opportunities that they have had to even express their feelings have been met with a certain resistance, and I don't think that anybody in his or her right senses will want to persist in antagonizing a system that continues to indicate that it has no room for, it has zero tolerance for dissenting views. So they kept quiet, and now they think that the time is due for them to say something, and it is the appropriate time. They have said it. At this particular moment, they cannot take care of the students when money is not released, because that can't happen. So this is a very good time that the headmasters have said it. I mean, schools did not reopen before they would do their usual things of coming to mourn. They have just told you that, look, if you don't bring the finances that we need in the school, then it's not going to be possible to have the students come back to school. We will rather let them stay at home. When we get the money, then we'll bring them to school.
Well, I mean, you believe that they were minding their business, but other people also believe that they were just trying to protect the free SHS policy. Is that really the case?
That is not really the case. I mean, I don't know what they were going to protect with the free SHS policy. cannot think far in terms of that. I mean, somebody says that I don't want to hear you dissenting in how I want to implement free SHS. So they said, fine, since you are the one who is in charge, we'll keep quiet. We'll do the things that you want us to do. Now, you don't bring us money. And I mean, this is why the camel's back begins to bend. And so you have it. So it has nothing to do with implementing the free SHS in that matter. It's just that the timing was not right. The timing is right now, and the headmasters are doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahaitso Chega. He's a former Director General of the Ghana Education Service. You're still listening to Starr today.
Starr today. First, fast, and credible.
We'll also stay a bit on education this evening because I told you earlier that WAEC is owed some amounts of money, which is the reason for which the release of the WASSCE results have delayed, where the minister has actually come out to say that results may be ready between 28th and 29th of this month. As stakeholders are also saying that it may not necessarily affect the academic calendar going on. And we also had a response from the ranking member on the Education Committee in Parliament, who says that their incoming government will investigate the delays in the settling of arrears owed WAEC and other stakeholders. Let's go over the phone lines now and engage John Cappy. He's the Director of Public Affairs for WAEC. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us this evening. Now, the Minister of Education, first of all, says that an additional 25 million cedis has been released to you. Can you confirm this?
That is not true. We indicated that some 25 million cedis by check was released to us last Thursday. Mm-hmm. That is the only payment we have received from the minister out of the 118 million. Yesterday there was a meeting between him, our head of national office, and the director of finance, and that was when he promised that he would send us some 20 million cedis today. But as at the time we're leaving the office late this afternoon, the Director of Finance at the ministry indicated that the minister had not instructed them to release to us any additional funds. And so on our part, this is untrue.
I see. So what is the current status of the WASSCE results now?
It's still in limbo, if I will put it bluntly, in the sense that we initially indicated our indebtedness to technicians, for which reason they could not fix the broken down scanners. The amount we paid to them was 25 million cedis. Mm-hmm. Now, so when we picked up the check last Thursday, we indicated to them that, okay, now the government has given us this amount of money and has given assurances that more funds will be released. So we got them to come. They managed to tweak the machines a little. A number of them started working last night. This morning they had broken down again. But then the technicians had indicated that there were some replaceable parts they had to purchase, and they have gone to do their market survey, and they were to bring us the estimates today, so that we provide them funds to, procure them and then come and work on the machine. And so as we speak, we have not received any extra funds from the Ministry of Education.
Mr. Kapi, talking about that, we saw a statement yesterday released by the Education Ministry, signed by the spokesperson of the ministry, Kwesi Kwarteng. Let me just read it out to you. It says that the Ministry of Education has released an additional 25 million Ghana cedis to the West African Examination Council to support its operations and ensure the smooth and seamless continuation of marking activities. WAEC has assured the ministry that the 2024 results will be released soon. It's your word against the Ministry of Education.
Absolutely, and I stand by my word. There was no additional release of funds. Mm. I was in the office today. I left the office after 3 p.m. and there was no indication that any funds were coming in. The Director of Finance called the Director of Finance, Minister of Education, and he indicated the minister had not given any instruction for any release of funds to us. So if they are, telling the whole world they've given us any money, that is untrue. I dare say that.
But the Education Minister was in your office today, and I believe that you engaged him. Were you really the people that gave him the assurance that results will be released soon?
Now, let me tell you what happened this morning. The minister came there. he was taken around by the head of office, shown the broken down machines, the ones that were working but not at full throttle because they were still not fully fixed. They showed him the heap of objective answer cards to be scanned, and then he stepped out. There was no formal meeting like, okay, let's sit down and discuss. So the way forward, what do we do? When are they going to fix the machines? When are you going to be able to do this? Nothing of that sort happened. And then he stepped out, spoke to the media, and told them that we say we'll release the results by 28th or 29th December latest. But WAEC has not issued any statement to that effect, and so that is factually incorrect.
But how does this make you feel? Because it looks as if the minister is just doing things on his own.
This is scandalous because really, why are we toying with people's future? I didn't want to go into that area, but I tell you, we also have staff whose children have written the examination, and we are waiting to, have this resolved and release results for everybody. We are also Ghanaians. We also have wards who are, who are candidates. And so if this is happening, it's not only affecting some third parties somewhere, we are also affected. And I think that we should all be, up and doing, tell the truth to the world what the reality is, and then find a solution to it once and for all.
Now, on humanitarian grounds, there are some that are pleading that, you're not supposed to hold the kids to ransom on behalf of the government, and so just release the result because it may affect their academic calendar. How do you respond to that?
My dear, WAEC is not holding anyone to ransom. If there's anyone who's holding them to ransom, it is the Ministry of Education. Because when we were receiving examination fees, nothing of this sort ever came out, all right? Because the fees were with us, and we had to ensure that whatever timelines we set, we met those timelines. I remember very well, as early as the 4th of December, we notified the minister that these machines had broken down, and we needed to work on them to meet our deadline of the 19th of December, 2024. Unfortunately, there was no response. On the 10th of December, there was a meeting between our head of office and the minister and his team. Nothing until the 18th of December when they issued a check for 25 million cedis, which we said, well, we would, let these technicians come and receive their payment and then begin to engage them again. Ever since, no peso has been released. I mean, WAEC is a non-profit-making entity. We don't make profit. The only source of funding for our operations is examination fees. And so if these fees have been absorbed by the ministry, and the ministry fails to release them to us, how are we supposed to operate?
So, for purposes of clarity, results are not going to be released on December 29?
I cannot guarantee that, no.
Okay. Thank you very much for speaking to us. I've been engaged in the Director of Public Affairs at WAEC, John Cappy. This is still Starr Today.
Starr Today. First, fast, and credible.
Let's talk about some agriculture-related issues this evening because the General Agricultural Workers Union is laying blame on the nationwide reports of diversion of government fertilizers solely at the doorstep of the President and the Minister of Food and Agriculture, Brian Champon. Well, this comes after two separate operations in the Ashanti and Eastern regions led to the retrieval of significant quantities of these fertilizers. A Joseph Yamin-led operation Recover All State looted assets intercepted the fertilizers at the residence of the former DCE, Eric Kwekukusi. According to the DCE, the fertilizer was brought to his house for safekeeping by the MP for Fomena, who also serves as the Deputy Second Speaker of Parliament, Andrew Isiamwa, 2 days before the 2024 general election, with the promise to collect them immediately after the just ended pause. But the second Deputy Speaker reportedly spoke with the recovery team, confirming that the fertilizers belonged to him, but declined to provide further details over the phone. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Isaac Justice Bediako has the details.
The fertilizers, according to the NDC, the same lead that connected them to discovery of thousands of fertilizers in Sokoban and Denyame in the regional capital, are the same people that connected them to this particular house where they have discovered another huge consignment of fertilizer. Ashanti Regional Youth Organizer of NDC, Usman Nabeli, spoke to GH1 News.
It's part of the numerous fertilizers that Second Deputy Speaker of Parliament has been having in the region. We took consignment of some of them in Kumasi. Today we got a tip-off that at his own house, that is still uncompleted house, he put some there and we came here to see it. And it is real that it is here. We interrogated the DC. We don't know whether it is his house or the DC's house, but we met the DC, and what he is saying that the fertilizers came 2 days before the election, and it is in the night that they couldn't offload it at the district office or district warehouse, that they brought it in his house and hide it. It is part of how they want this government, the new coming government, to suffer. That's why they are hiding those things here. So we are here to take custody of the fertilizers and make sure the government will have it and use it for the purpose that they bought it.
Are you shocked?
I'm very shocked, because currently we are having not less than 10,000 pieces of these things that government bought to give it to the farmers so that they can use it and get a good yield. The people of Ghana will get the cheaper food to eat. Today, some people are hiding it to go and sell it and take the money into their pockets for the people of Ghana to suffer. That is what this government, the outgoing government, is doing. Currently, they are bordering a lot of government properties, government items that can be valuable to help the Ghanaians to get value for money, or the reason why they voted for NDC, so that they can have an easy life. But this is what they are doing. This is somebody who is at the parliament, somebody who is, we call as honorable, but look at what he's doing.
For GH1 News, Isaac Justice Bediako reporting.
And in the Eastern region, executives of the NDC in the New Jabin North constituency have intercepted 24,000 bags of NPK 21 fertilizer allegedly diverted for private use. The subsidized government fertilizers reportedly meant for farmers were discovered at dawn, being offloaded into an abandoned church building in Kufodia following a tip-off. Eastern regional correspondent Kojo Ansa has the details.
The NDC executives alleges that the fertilizers meant for distribution under government's program were being stolen after the change of administration. A confrontation ensued between the transporters, EV Logistics, and the NDC executives in New Jabin North, who suspect private individuals intended to profit from the diverted items. Samuel Adongo, NDC parliamentary candidate for New Jabin North, spoke to the media.
Actually, we had information that yesterday evening, but it was very late, getting to almost like 12 minutes dawn. So that there are about 24 trucks loaded with unidentified items parked along the street of highways just opposite the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. So we decided to follow up and monitor and see whatever that is going on. So before daybreak, they started offloading some of the trucks. So we waited for them for daybreak. Then we came around to see what is actually going on. But when we approached them, according to one of them, they told me that actually the items belong to a private businessman who is trying to get a safer place to keep his items, and it's not for government. So in fact, we were not okay with that information, so we had to follow up. So it was later that I pushed and I was able to get one of the waybill. And on the waybill, it has been indicated that there are fertilizers, NPK fertilizer 50 kg, and it's from Ministry of Food and Agriculture headquarters to Eastern Region. So I started questioning them. This is from Ministry of Food and Agriculture to Eastern Region. Means it is for government. So if it belongs to government, why don't you get a government warehouse and offload all these items? But I rather choose to go to an abandoned church and offload this number of fertilizers into a church instead of a government institution. So I asked them, I would like to know the Minister of Food and Agriculture officer who is receiving the items. So there was one of the pickers parked there with some officers in there. So when I was approaching the pickup just drove off. So I have to come back to them again, and we have to call the police officers to come in. So I called the divisional, the municipal commander, and I also called the regional commander to also get them informed about what we have noticed here.
The interception follows another incident on Friday night when NDC executives impounded the consignment of fertilizers stored in a house near Oyoko Chief's Palace.
The do have enough conservation organizer. You bring the anti fertilizer be a go be fee almost. You can me any material of man as na maba. E be here so egu MPP ni abrantie bi ekwan no a evidence o Baumia sticker any MP Dijo sticker board ni kwan no a ono won sisa ani manu buye. You say as say gu car mu ye dey call Galaway aposi police station now investigation be obi a ya to na do.
But the assembly member for the area shared what he knows about the fertilizers.
I agreed to it because one, being an assemblyman, if I have space, the only thing I will do is I will take it and keep it. I don't have that space. If somebody, they have brought it, we will not get even a vehicle to move it to the assembly. It's for Yoko, a Suja and a Danieja. What do? We get a place, we put it there. So whatever they are saying is I didn't know a chrono, then kind of will be our record. So our record. So I learned say 400 and fertilizers, you know, or mene a Suja any Asama, you know, almost my 420 pieces. That 420 pieces, you know, the records are there. You know, and yes, idea would be so say you to about we are. Would say a bought of mine one day, a mine. Until you are more normal, but the only thing they say, quite more fast one more day, young. And I was on my head,
reports of similar cases have surfaced across the eastern region, raising concerns about the misuse of government resources. Eastern Regional Directorate of Department of Agriculture is yet to comment on the situations. For GH1 TV and Starr FM, Kojo Ansah, Eastern Region.
Now, these reports are worrying developments, I beg your pardon, having curbed the displeasure of a former General Secretary of GAWU, Edward Karewe. He tells Star News reports of citizens intercepting fertilizers is indicative of growing mistrust in the government.
Well, it's not surprising to me, but I'm really disappointed that this is how far people can behave, and then people can privatize public property and then think that they control everything, and if they are not there, then nobody is there. I think that we still have a government in place, and then the Minister for Agriculture should be held accountable for all this. The President of the Republic should be held accountable for all this, because we shouldn't behave as if there's a vacuum. The people who have been given the mandate to rule us and then manage our resources must account for this. What is the use of the Minister for Agriculture who brought in these fertilizers, or the government that brought in these fertilizers? What are they supposed to be used for? But then if people are smuggling them or taking them away, where are the security services to deal with it? You see, so I think that the responsibility rests solely on the Minister for Agriculture and then the government and the security services. The citizens have entrusted their power in the government institutions, the police, and then the other state institutions to run the affairs of the country. What you are seeing now is an expression of lack of faith in the government institutions. The question that I'm asking is, if the Minister for Agriculture had ensured that wherever fertilizers and government properties were under his ministry had gone to are properly catered for, they will not be experiencing this.
Edward Karewa is the former General Secretary of GAU.
Starr today. First, fast, incredible.
Well, it is that time of the year again where families and friends come together, exchange gifts, and create memories that will strengthen their bond. But have you wondered how you can survive this festive season without necessarily breaking your bank account? This Christmas, we ask you. In fact, Dinah will ask you the questions in this report.
During the festive season, the temptation to spend more than usual is rife. It brings the highly acclaimed Soft Life to your doorstep. Colourful hampers, tickets to top events, and endless vacation opportunities. People are spoilt for choice in ways to express gratitude and love to friends and family, as well as giving themselves that good old spoil. Unfortunately, economic gloom for the past couple of years has left some customers at the Adabraka market in awe of the prices of commodities.
I came to the market to purchase some items. I went to buy onions and the price was just outrageous. And I couldn't purchase what I wanted. I felt maybe yam would be better. And a tube of yam, 50 cedis to my surprise. So I couldn't buy.
I've decided to cut down on so many things. Things that I used to do previously, taking children out, and I've stopped. And so it's going to be normal. The only difference will be that we shall go to church and come back, cook ordinary food. But going out and having fun, those are the things that I think that they will have a negative impact on my pocket. That one, no.
Traders, however, say business has been slow compared to previous years, though prices haven't changed much.
25 kilo, 550. 25 kilo, 5 kilo no so 120, 110. Nti omo me. Oba o ire ni ho ano ato 5 kilo ba ko. Nipa o timi to 50 kilo no 5 kilo na oto. Nti aye blawo.
Edwane de ka se koya ne yebua. Yento de eniama ne hangi fita no pa yemba yento hwe because eniama no bi wo nya ope. Nanso ne buye ne den. Nti yesre se dollar na beba fom kakrama ya. Ye nya de ton fo no ke bebua ye. Nti yesre mpanyere fo no omumbua ye na dollar na mbra fom kakrama ye.
Other years was more better than this year because the prices of things had made things to be different. The demand of stuff is lesser than that of other years.
During this season, people release stress and take the opportunity to reward themselves for working hard during the year. However, this all comes at a cost. How do you navigate these tempting options while balancing your cravings against your account? Financial analyst Francis Boy has some tips.
Let's remember that the festive season is a time to celebrate, but it is also a time to budget wisely to avoid financial strain in January. Save for January. Remember, January can feel so long because bills come so early. Plan ahead. Create a budget that covers all your expenses for the season. Prioritize needs over wants. So you need to focus on essential and meaningful activities. Set limits for gifts. You have to consider thoughtful but affordable gifts. No need for expensive items. Avoid debt. If you can't afford it now, don't buy it.
Clearly, it is possible to have a memorable festive season without breaking your account. As they say, January is a whole year on its own. Now, if you plan to fail ahead of that, remember, we listen and watch. We don't judge. For GH1 News, a story by Dinah Binyam.
But here on Starr today, we are also asking, how is your dirty December going? Are you on a budget? Or you can explain. Let's do business now. And after many years of controversial banking sector and revocation of licenses of some financial institutions, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. A.N.S. Kwamena, Addison has justified its decision to revoke license of UT and Capital Bank. According to him, the decision wasn't born out of hatred by an IMF conditionality, and also to strengthen the country's financial sector. While speaking during the 2024 Governors' Day, organized by the Chartered Institute of Bankers CIB Ghana under the theme Resilience in the Financial System, Navigating Horizon Risks, Dr. Addison explained that the cleanup was part of an IMF condition to save some 4.6 million depositors in 2017.
There were a lot of banks that had, toxic assets, very weak corporate governance, and this is the problem that I have to resolve. And we have to resolve these issues as quickly as possible. The banks that had been flagged at that time had to come up with capital restoration programs. And not many people know that as of that time, 2 banks had already been flagged as insolvent, completely insolvent. There was really, nothing that could be done about them. We had given them all the opportunity to find additional capital. One of the offers that we got actually meant that the government would have to pay the investor in order to take over the bank. That tells you the state in which that bank was. So when this outgoing government took over and tried to bring the IMF program back on track, there are a few requirements which the IMF calls the prior actions. You have to do this, you have to do.
We apologize for that bad sound quality there, but the terrible weather conditions associated with Harmattan contribute to road carnages recorded during the festive season. It is for this reason that the Ghana Meteorological Agency has cautioned motorists to conduct the necessary checks on their vehicles to ensure their absolute safety on the move. My colleague Nana Markwa has the rest of the story.
Harmattan is a phenomenon that occurs over the West African subregion. It is characterized by dry winds which decrease visibility due to minute dust particles. Head of Central Analysis and Forecast Office at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Felicity Ahafianyo, explains more.
The Harmattan comes in seasons and it comes in variations. We have the moderate, we have the severe, we have the mild. Currently, what we are experiencing is more like moderate, sort of the Harmattan season over the entire country. So as human, the first point of call is that we should get closer to GMET as you are doing to get the forecasts on daily basis. So we'll be able to tell you the winds, we'll be able to tell you the dryness, and then you pick it from there. Then another aspect is that you need to be careful with our fires that we use. Either you are doing firewood, you are doing charcoal, you are doing gas or whatsoever. You should be very, very mindful. The smokers, those that do cigarettes or the others, they also need to be mindful that the last bit should be quenched so that they don't result into fires.
She also recommended that during the festive season, motorists should conduct the necessary checks on their cars to ensure their absolute safety on the move.
Then the motorist, this is key. It's a festive season and most of us will be traveling. This time around we expect it to be thick, so visibilities around dawn hours are going to be less than 1 kilometer, so they need to be careful. So they have to speak to their auto electricians for them to check their lighting system. And commercial vehicles, the overtakings, they need to be careful.
Ghanaians also shared their experiences of this year's Harmattan season.
Fortunately, today I wake up, I couldn't bath because of the Harmattan. The weather was chill. And also it has affected my mouth, that my mouth, there are a whole lot of whitish substances on my mouth also. And the weather too is very dusty as well.
I have a better pomade, if possible, get a shea butter. Apply it after bath, and that is all.
This year, I think those who sell my lip balm are really going to earn money because the weather is really dry.
Since it's the season, keep your lip balm close, your shea butter even closer, and your water in hand.
That was my colleague Nana Malkwa with that report today. And that wraps up Star today here on Star FM. For more news update, kindly visit starfm.com.ga. This bulletin was produced by Eko Anan and Prince ACN. And we are leaving you with a Christmas speech from the President of the Republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, which happens to be his last as President of the country. Do enjoy that.
Our nation is united in celebration, reflection, and gratitude. Ones. On this blessed of occasion, I come to you not only as your president, but also as a fellow citizen, a husband, and a season when we pause the enduring value of love, hope, and action. Reminds us of the ultimate gift of our Jesus Christ, who's brought life to the world, humanity of salvation. His story inspires us to be our sister's keeper, to extend a hand of kindness, and to uphold the dignity of individual. This Christmas, I invite all of us to reflect on what it means to live as one nation under God. Homes, let us create memories marked by laughter, forgiveness, and the simple joys that remind us of life's true treasure. And in ours, let us renew our commitment to instances of peace. Let us to those who are less fortunate, offering not just material assistance, but also the price of our time, love, presence. As I approach of my tenure as your president, I want to speak out. Hey, thank you. Serving as the leader of our beloved country has been the greatest honor of my life. Together, we achieved remarkable milestones. We've excelled access to education, strengthened the healthcare system, in infrastructure, revitalized agriculture, extended the industrial transformation of the economy, and workly to secure a brighter future for our children. These achievements are mine. They are yours. They are proof of resilience and love of God everywhere. But our journey is over. And is still beaten. It was has a role to play in her future. Move forward with knowing that bright lie ahead. Power, energy, creativity, and donation, people. Tonight, as the festive lights illuminate cities, towns, and villages, let them remind us of the hope that shines each one of us. Hope that tells us to dream big, to rise above the to build a nation where every child, no matter where he or she is, has the chance to thrive. Fellow Ghanaians, this year we have achieved another monumental milestone, national development, with the peaceful re-election of a new president and new members. I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the president-elect and the MPs-elect, and wish them strength and God as they prepare to leave our beloved nation. I must nevertheless also condone uncertain terms the unnecessary acts of violence that have tarnished as exemplary democracy. Let us never forget that seeking power is not a call to arms, but rather to service. Those who might contemplate using violence to achieve their ends, no, the nation's peace is sacred, and it will not rise on the altar of man. The rule of law, no matter what. I urge the services to take a firm stand against any act threatening the stability and harmony of our lives. Sure that every action deepens our democracy and fortifies our unity. As the saying goes, peace is not the conflict, the ability to handle conflict for me. Let us this wisdom as a guiding force in our journey. As we gather around us to share a meal, let us think of make our celebrations possible. Security personnel standing guard, celebrating safety. The health workers, care sick. The farmers whose labor feeds our families. Let us also remember those who are less fortunate. Our actions bring them comfort, renewal in the year ahead. My fellow friends, Having come to the end of my tenure as president and preparing to step in the next chapter of my life, I leave you with this thought. Ghana is destined for grace, her peace, unity, and nurture her. Together, by the light and the spirit of love, we can achieve extraordinary things. May this Christmas fill our hearts with joy, our homes with laughter, and our lives with peace. May the coming year bring us closer to the one of our dreams, and may continue to bless our and its people abundantly. Christmas, my fellow Ghanaians, I thank you and have a good evening.